thanks for stopping by. I like to preface this video by saying it is not a knitting tutorial, but it means to have something playing in the background while you work on your own knitting project. If you're like me and really enjoy having something on while you work, sometimes the content you like is very visually engaging, and you're several hours in and haven't gotten nearly as far along in your project as you would have liked to. So that's where I come in. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back. It's Friday. Happy Friday to you all. I'm hoping that future Pros and Pearls at the time of this upload is either enjoying sleep or just relaxing somewhere. I had requested to have today off, and I'm hoping that it was granted to me, but at the time of recording on a Saturday afternoon, I have yet to find out if I did get approval for my time off. I've asked for this Friday off, next Friday, and the Friday after, leading up to the week where I will be off for holiday. And I'm just so curious about if I'm going to get those days off or not. But I'm hoping on this Friday that I will in fact have this day off. And I'll let you know over the weekend when I film for the next upload schedule if that was the case or not. If I am off, though, besides sleeping and relaxing, my plan was to deep clean my bathroom and kitchen. It's been about 2 months since I last did a deep clean of those places. I've done spot cleaning here and there, but not like a full hands and knees scrub-a-dub on the floor around the nooks and crannies. And usually that's when I get all the dust bunnies up because of having cats and little breezes here and there kind of blow fur in places that I wouldn't even think fur would get to, but you find it every now and then. And one of the reasons I was like, whoa, I think it's time, because last night on Friday, well, I guess a week ago now that you're seeing this, I was in the kitchen, and what was I doing? I did something weird, and I flicked my ear, and one of my earrings came out and rolled across the floor, and I was like, oh man. I was in the kitchen, so I was on my hands and knees, and I was looking for the post and the stud. And I found them both, but it was not after a long time of looking under the stove, under the refrigerator, under some racks and cabinets and things that I found it. And all the while I was underneath the stove, and I'm like, wow, it's kind of dusty under here again. I'm like, I swear I was just in here wiping up fuzzies, and the cats aren't even supposed to be in the kitchen. So I'm like, how is it so fuzzy in here? But it's strange how cat fur will find its way anywhere, even if you don't let them in places. Their fur makes a way into those places. So I'm like, yeah, it's time. I was gonna clean deeply anyway soon, but the fact that I've asked to have several Fridays off, I think it's a good time to just room by room, top to bottom, give it a good wash, good once over, because it's always feels good after a while when you see everything look like you just moved in. It's like, oh, so nice and clean. Like a real clean, not just like a wipe the surface, but good scrub. So that's what I planned to do on my day off, which isn't really all that fun, but it is rewarding when it's over. I'm not one for cleaning. It's never been my favorite thing to do. Some people really enjoy it. I find it the after. The after is what I like, but the during is not so fun. And then it's like, I wash and everything, and then I'm like deathly afraid to use everything because now it looks so good. It's like I don't want to mess it up again. But then slowly but surely, I let my tensions kind of reside a little bit. I'm like, okay, I guess I can go to the bathroom. I guess I could use the toilet because it's been 5 days. No, I'm kidding. It hasn't been that long, but you're just like, oh man, I don't want to mess anything up. So that's kind of where I am. But as you can see, this whole week, really, I've still been here on my bed, knitting away. My partner has still been doing everything else except for going through the boxes in the other room. They have claimed that they need something better to organize their stuff with. And I was like, well, you had several plastic crates that you had emptied out. Are those of any use? And they're like, well, I want something with a little bit more compartmentalization that I can utilize instead of just throwing everything into one bin. They want to have something else that's kind of like separating them out a little more. So I'm thinking they need something more like drawers, like storage drawers than storage bins. So then they can have smaller areas with things identified than one big catch-all. And I'm thinking because it is, or not October, oh my gosh, because it's December and it would be a moment for me to buy them something for Christmas, I'll just ask, what's your wish list? What is like something practical that you absolutely need? I would try to get them something fun, but they've honestly been buying so much for themselves lately because they've been working on like housing old game systems and stuff, and like adding devices and better charging ports and new screens and better case and all this stuff to some of their Nintendo Game Boy thingies. And I'm just like, okay, well, this isn't really, I know about hobbies. I know about spending money on things that aren't really practical. I would say knitting itself is practical, but the amount of surplus supplies that I have, probably not practical considering I'm not using everything at once. But I do have a lot of stuff. So I do understand. However, I don't want to buy anything for them if their fad's going to change, like their interest is going to sway in any way. I will pat myself on the back. I've been pretty consistent with my knitting hobby since 2018 when I started. So, because I started my channel 2019, but I had been knitting for a year up to that point. So I'd say since I've been doing this, I have been consistent. I'm slow, but I have been doing it every week. There hasn't been one week where I haven't been knitting, at least a little. Even if it's just a couple rounds here or there, I'm always knitting. And I feel like this is a sure thing, 2 years of consistently doing this, I think is pretty good. For me especially, because I'm kind of like my partner in a way where I jump from project to project a lot, but it's more like art projects. Like I'll have a crafting idea, and then I'll get all the gear that I need for this one crafting thing, and then I'll do one project, and then I'll move on to something else. And then I'll end up with like all these supplies for this one project, and I'm like, whoa, well that was short-lived, but I'm trying to do better about that, where I'm identifying several things I can get use out of one item with. For instance, when I used my yarn that I bought for other projects and have been able to repurpose it for things like my fingerless gloves and the make-along that we did in August, or working on using the bulky yarn that I bought for the socks for the holiday, and things like that. So I think if my partner can give me a practical list of things they're actually going to use and aren't going to get tired of, then I'll feel better about buying them Christmas gifts like that. Because honestly, I was going to buy them standard Christmas gifts. Socks, I mean, because I obviously cannot make them fast enough, and they get holes in their socks so often, and their socks are really old, so they do need more new socks for the time being. But socks, underwear, because they need new underwear, and I thought about getting them some more gym shorts because they like to go out in Hacky Sack, or foot bag is what it's also called. It's like this little beanbag ball that they kick around on their feet, kind of like if you were dribbling a soccer ball. You kick it, you do back behind the leg, around the foot, this and that. And they like to do that as like exercise, especially when it's cold and it gets dark really quickly. They like to do something close to home. So hacky sacking is an easy way to get some pent up energy released in a quick way. And they usually use their gym shorts when they do that so that they're like really mobile. I was like, oh, some more gym shorts would be good for them. And, you know, socks, underwear, gym shorts. But, I don't know. Now that they're talking about needing some better organization, they also talked about needing like a tackle box for some of the tools they've been using while they've been working on their gaming systems. And I'm like, okay, maybe I can get you a tackle box. Maybe I could buy you like some plastic drawers, like the kind that I have to keep. I have clothes in some drawers. I have knitting stuff in drawers, art supplies in drawers, electronics that I have in drawers as well. So, you know, all kinds of things in plastic drawers. They're not the cutest, but they function quite well, and they've been with me for years and years and years, so they're portable. So it's like I could get them some of those. So I'm just gonna say, like, send me a wish list. What are some practical things you want? Because I already have ideas of practical things, but if they're not in line with what you think is practical right now, then I won't get it. I'll get you something else. And then likewise, I'll send them my list, because I have some things on my mind too that I want that, you know, I could buy for myself. Fine. But sometimes it's nice when, you know, you don't have to buy something yourself that you were already going to buy. Somebody else buys it for you. Mainly, some things I've noticed that I needed are a bigger mixing bowl. When I was preparing Thanksgiving dinner, it came to mind, and it's come to mind several times before, but it is usually when I have to do a very, very big meal that I realize that my mixing bowl, my largest mixing bowl, is not large enough for when I need to do things like mix a big batch of something. And it's hard to stir stuff around when your bowl is not big enough. And I'm thinking of like my aunt. I know this bowl, she uses it all the time. It's this huge bowl. It's literally like this big. I don't know if you can even see both of my hands in frame, but it's like the span of my lap. It's a big yellow old Tupperware bowl, like when Tupperware used to be, you know, back in the day, instead of like Pampered Chef or like Mary Kay or Avon, you know, you'd have like the home parties, and there would be the Tupperware party, and it was legit from the time when people would have Tupperware parties, and my mom even had Tupperware from Tupperware parties, but it's a big yellow bowl from, you know, the 70s or 80s, because it was clearly that old and has lasted that long. And it's just this huge bowl, and she uses it for everything. Marinating stuff, making large quantity things that require a big bowl to put it in. And I don't even have a big bowl like that. And I'm like, I need a big bowl like that. Just one. And my life would be easier. Now, do I use it all the time? No. But every time I need a really big bowl, I think of my aunt's really big bowl, and go, man, I wish I had a really big bowl like that, because my biggest bowl is not anywhere close to that. And that's something I've thought about. I also thought about how it would be nice to have some casserole dishes. I have one really nice Pyrex casserole dish, but it's only one 9x13, and like when I was making Thanksgiving dinner, I needed 3. I needed one for the macaroni, I needed one for the cake I made, and I needed one for the dressing. And I had 2 metal ones, but one metal one is so old. It was a hand-me-down, and it's really old, and the finish is starting to chip, so it's rusting where the coating isn't anymore, so I always have to line it with foil when I use it so it don't get rust on everything. And that's kind of a pain because I don't want to keep using foil every single time I use it because it's a waste and it's annoying. So I'm like, I could just get rid of this pan and buy like a nice ceramic, Cuisinart or Le Croc. I don't know. It's like this French brand. It's super, fancy, but they have the cutest colors. And I'm like, ooh, if I could get like a teal casserole dish, that'd be nice. Because I really only have one casserole dish. The other ones are just like baking pans that are big, metal baking pans. But a casserole dish, that's what I want. That's practical because I do cook, and if I had a casserole dish, I think I'd be more inclined to make casserole type things where I can do family style, like a nice big batch of something, and then have extra leftovers for another week or 2. So that would be cool. And, knitting stuff, like another stitch counter with a lock on it, like the one that I got from Coco Knits. Maybe a nice wooden Swift would be nice. I don't know, just stuff like that. And another set of like Chiagu, like these. Chiagu is the brand of knitting needles I'm using right now. They're fixed circular, but they're nice and pointy. They're sharper than my zings by Knitter's Pride, so I really like them. And I like my zings too, my circulars, but these really are the ticket. So more of these, I think, would be nice. There's also, Chiagu's nice too because it has like this wire, this metal braided wire in the middle with the plastic coating, so it doesn't have a memory when you use it. It just lays right flat when you're done, which is nice because like the plastic sometimes bends into one shape. And you can always fix that, but it's nice when you don't have to spend that extra time correcting it. You just pick them up and you're ready to go. But those would be nice. Just like some standard necessity type things. And then I could be the one in charge of like buying the yarn itself because that's very much subjective. But just the essentials like knitting needles. Tell my partner the size and the brand. And let them go about their business getting them. As long as it's the right size. And brand. Oh, and material, because, if they show up with a whole kit of bamboo needles, I'm going to scream, because I hate bamboo needles. But, yes. So let me know in the comments. For holiday, if you celebrate any kind of gift-giving occasion, do you like to be surprised, or are you going the route where you just ask people for certain things on a list, or do you do a little both? How's your gift receiving style? My aunt is supposed to be mailing me my Christmas gift soon. She's also including some of my Pokemon cards that I had back home, because after looking at my partners and realizing that they had some that were worth or could be worth something, I'm like, maybe I should take a look at mine and see if I have any that are worth something. Because if I could retire, as much as I love holding on to things, I think if I could value any of my cards as being worth enough to, like, pay off my student debt, or like a chunk of it, or, you know, buy a house, or have a down payment, like a real down payment, heck, buy Charizard, like, I think I would totally take advantage of that. I don't think I have any doubles, though, because if I had doubles, like I was telling my partner, if they have doubles, then maybe you just, like, sell the best and keep the ones that are, like, so-so, but are still part of your collection, so you feel like you have that completionist kind of reward there as well. So, I don't know. But anyway, yes, my aunt and my partner's family usually just send me some kind of gift that I haven't asked for. You know, they haven't said, hey, Paws and Pearls, what do you absolutely want for Christmas? And then I give them, like, a list or something where it's like, oh, it'd be nice if I had XYZ. Like, they know I love cats, and they know I love makeup, and they know I love cute sparkly things. So I'm like typical little girl, you know, stereotypical girl, you know, except for the pink thing. But, you know, cute animals, fancy things, jewelry, clothes, makeup, and baby animals. Doesn't take too much to make me feel good and warm and fuzzy when I get a gift. But, you know, I personally am very particular about what I buy for myself. Like, one, has to be cruelty-free if it's makeup or any kind of beauty product, not tested on animals, not sold to a country that requires testing on animals. And if it is anything cute, I prefer blue or teals or greens or purples. If it is, you know, clothing or some kind of accessory, I prefer artisanal or made by a person than a machine, like something cute from Etsy, or something with man-made materials, nothing leather, and preferably teal. But yeah, mostly I get cat stuff. Like last year, my partner's family got me these really cute earrings. They were Swarovski crystals. I don't wear them often, but I do wear them on occasion. And I got this really cute Hello Kitty water bottle and a cute blanket. And I showed you guys that in my haul, I believe, last year, some of the stuff I got. And like my brother and his fiance got me this really cute tower of cat mugs from the, oh yeah, Pier 1 no longer exists. They went bankrupt and closed down during the pandemic. But they did get me my cat mug tower from Pier 1. Now I really have to keep those because, well, I mean, they're cute, but now they're from a store that no longer exists. So people are going to be like, Pier 1, what's this? And I'm like, oh, let me tell you about Pier 1. I got some makeup too, which I found out was from Amway, which is that multi-level marketing company that they are a part of. And I think I got something else. I can't remember. I'd have to look at my Christmas haul video from last year to see all of the things I got. But it was nice. Got some cute stuff from my aunt. Cat stuff, you know. I do like surprises, but when it comes to something that I'm expected to use, I do like to be able to provide some input on that because otherwise it won't be useful to me. But if it's just like, a cute, like, kitschy kind of gift, then it's like, whatever. Like to be surprised, but, if you're going to buy me a lawnmower and I don't even have a lawn to mow, you're kind of like, maybe you should have asked what it is that I actually need in the homewares department. But, yes. So, that is that on that. We are about midway through, well, a little bit over halfway through knitting through the top of the foot, the instep, and we're still not quite at 8 inches because, bam, I'm looking at my hand here, and I'm probably like a good 7 inches between the base of my palm and my middle finger. So we have some ways to go, but not very much further, but a little ways to go. And then I can start doing my decreases, and then I can start on the second sock. So I'm actually moving along with this one faster than I had thought I would, just because it's so thin compared to the other ones that I've zipped through really quickly. I am happy that I am making some headway and expect that the next time you see me, I will be on the second one. Fingers crossed, but we'll see. Life happens. Paws and Pearls makes a lot of promises she can't keep, so I should just keep my mouth shut. But that is my hope anyway. I can always hope, right? So with that, thank you so very much for tuning in once more. I hope you have a great weekend. I hope I am enjoying my Friday off if I did get my Friday granted as a day off. And I will catch you next week. Bye.